All right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, the Hurricanes taking on the Crusaders. Now, in the overall scheme of the table, this match doesn't really change too much. The Crusaders are guaranteed second. The Hurricanes are guaranteed fifth. At the moment, we know the Hurricanes, they are going to be going head-to-head with the Brumbies in their quarterfinal fixture next week. It's going to be a great game. Just about to kick off here. The Hurricanes will be receiving the ball. So Sky Stadium relatively full for this contest as well, which is good to see. The youngster Sinkinson actually gets the first touch of the match for the Hurricanes. Roy Gard now going to be rolling this ball back, getting ready to put it high. I feel like this game's going to be a relatively slow build up into the pace with these two sides. When they play, there's always physicality in those breakdowns. Adi Savia just getting fended in the face by Lester Whainarnuku. Now off to the right again. Chapman goes to Will Jordan, who's put a bit too much on that one. Well and truly connected with that. It's gone dead. Then we'll go back to where he kicked it from. So a bit of an early mistake from Will Jordan and the Crusaders. Trying to play a little bit of that territory game, but not really anyone chasing after it. So not too sure what the tactic was there for the first minute of this contest. But looking through at the starting lineups, they're looking pretty strong indeed. We will put them up on the screen for you guys. It is the Hurricanes first of all. Adi Savia playing number 8, Duplessis Karifi, and number 7, and Flanders at 6. The loose forward trio for the Hurricanes, I think, is going to be very crucial. But Louis Chapman getting his debut. I think he was actually going to be playing off the bench for this game, but Drummond must have an injury of some sort, which means he's no longer going to be starting. So they did make that late change. Also, Dane Cole's final home game for him, perhaps, of his Super Rugby career. The pack weights, the Crusaders have got themselves the weight advantage by about that 40 kgs. Brett Cameron now kicks it in behind, goes out on the full. So everyone not quite having their kicking boots on for the first 90 seconds of this contest. But this is the side for the Crusaders, other than Drummond, who is now replaced by Louis Chapman. Good morning, says girl. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. I've got a package next to me that has got my name on it, but I know exactly where it came from. And are you covering the Super League Magic Weekend? And good morning from England. We aren't covering the Super League. We are actually only covering the 2 games today of Super Rugby. We've done one. This is our second. Reason for that is we're getting up extremely early tomorrow morning and heading up the road on a holiday for a day. But now Will Jordan, nice pass on the outside to Lester Whainarnuku, now carving towards the try line. Only 5 meters out now. Chapman going across to the big man Sam Whitelock, falls on his back. See Mighty Williams lurking, ready to try and charge this one towards the line. Only a couple meters out. Whainarnuku picks it up. Over the line he goes. And it's the try for Lester Whainarnuku. Do it, says Kerr. Do you think I should open it now, Kerr, or at half time? Do let me know. But yeah, I sent you a message because there was a second package that I don't think was from you. And it's just randomly shown up at the house. And I don't think it's anything that you or me have ordered. It's like I rung them up and they're like, oh, that's weird. How did it end up down there? Nice pass on the outside from Will Jordan to Whainarnuku to start off the initial momentum. He's just very strong, Lester, isn't he? Is in the Rugby League, says Arian Luck. Yeah, so we haven't got any Rugby League, unfortunately, this weekend. We are going to be doing the State of Origin when it comes back around. We will have my dad with me for that stream. And I got my daughter's recital this morning, so I won't make the full stream, says Kerr. So what you are saying is better now than never. Is what you're saying. While we've got the conversion, we have got time. Ladies and gentlemen, post. Package in the mail. What type of recital is it, Kerr? Does she dance? Does she sing? That's a very stretchy pack. I've just ripped a massive hole that hasn't actually happened. I don't know anything about anyone else, but it's not as exciting when it won't change the standings regardless of who wins. The good news is at least it's a New Zealand derby in that regard. Richie Mo'unga missing that kick. I see straight away the Kiwi Lads logo on whatever this is. They're giving me $5. Definitely open both. Want to know what's in the mystery one too. Well, that's the thing. It's like a technology company that I don't think you sent that I know of. Oh, look at that. The gold, eh? The Kiwi Lads shirt. It's got the Kiwi Lads on the front and then a big old Kiwi Lads. Oh, that looks kind of cool with the see-through. Kiwi Lads on the back. Piano this morning. That's something I've been really bad at most of my life, the piano. I can play three blind mice, 3 blind mice. That's about all I got. But thank you very much, Kerr. Jeez, I'll have to learn how to iron. I'll iron it, and then we'll wear it out on the town tomorrow. And it can go with the hat as well. It'll just be all decked out in Kiwi Lads merchandise. Everyone will be like, who is this guy? What is he wearing? Kia ora. Nov Mum says April. Welcome in. Now, back across to the side. Dane Coles ends up with the ball in hand, going out to Billy Proctor now. Will Jordan makes a good tackle on him, offload on the inside, goes to Cody Taylor. Not exactly who he would have been aiming at, unless, of course, they were playing for the ABs. Richie Moonga kicks the ball down in behind. Nicely taken by Geordie Barrett. Downfield again to McLeod. To the halfway line now. Kenny Aholo makes that tackle. Doesn't quite get the turnover and the breakdown that he was after. Now Moonga goes back to Tamaiti Williams. Pretty good, thanks, Nov Mum. Beautiful day here. I'm going to quickly read the instructions. That doesn't say English, that part, other than 100% cotton, and it might be made from in Bangladesh. That's a penalty to the Crusaders. I believe Quinton Strange getting in there and getting the not releasing one. Oh, bit of push and shove. Of course, Dane Coles is right in the middle of it. There's no way someone says, who's that guy to you in Waimate? You all know each other. True, but we're going up the road on a holiday, you see. So no one should know me up there. Hopefully. There's normally a tag in these somewhere that says like what you're allowed to do to it. Normally it says like no tumble dry in it. I think maybe. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just got the one tag. Would you put it in the dryer to try and take out some of the wrinkles, or do you just iron it? I haven't ironed anything in my life, as you guys can probably tell. What I normally do is I put it in the dryer, and right when it comes out the dryer, it's kind of ironed. So you just put it in a pile, like nicely folded. Nicely claimed there, Dane Coles. I'm sorry. He's been one of the biggest annoyances in Grubs and Rugby. So there's nothing to like about him, says Connor. Well, I guess longevity can be one thing that people can say about him. Debuted in 2009. Being there ever since. No, don't put it in the dryer. Okay, I won't. I won't put it in the dryer. Where should I put it, though? I've got a steamer. I've never used it, though. Iron, maybe. I'm sure I could work an iron. Just YouTube it. And now I got home and away kits. True. I got the yellow on the hippo, and I got the black with the gold on the back. Almost rhymes. But yeah, that one looks very nice, Kerr. So does the hippo. I feel like the hippo one's for special occasions since it's so bright. And then that one's more of a laid back, like, yeah, I might be a Kiwi lad, but I'm not really. And good morning once again. Hopefully this is a tight game. Yeah, hopefully. I don't think you need to iron. We refuse to iron in our house, says Ruby. Says April Tui. Hi there, Kiwi lads. How's that hanging? What did I miss, Hamish? I got a shirt, Ruth. And I'm trying to work out, hey, you working like clothes and music and stuff, innit? See how there's like that line across it? Would I like bang it? Or not bang it. Would I like just run a thingy over it and should be good? Papa says, Yanni, no, not me. Don't think so. Don't know of any kids that I've got on the go or on the way. I should say on the go sounds a bit dodgy. Brett Cameron goes off to Billy Proctor now. I love both these sides' kits, like the brightness. Another big run from Andrew Mafaleo. Tavita Mafaleo it was. Out the wires, what a win. Says Beds Ablaze. Warriors doing very nicely. Hi all. Anyone here know who the Blues play in the quarters? They are going to be playing up against the Waratahs in their quarterfinal fixture. We have an iron somewhere in the house, says Novmum. Do you guys use the dryer technique? Just shove it in, pop it back out. Nice colour hoodie. Is it brown or reddish? It's a little bit of a, I'd say probably more red. It's almost a maroonish colour. And Jane, it's Jane, not Johnny. Is disappointed. Nah, sorry about that. You wouldn't be related to the other long shlong, would you? Who was here earlier on asking if I was the father. Hello to King Kerr, says Roof. And also Great Crusaders already on board. It's going to be stolen over the top. Dane Coles not quite getting that throw correct. And the penalty goes the way of the Crusaders for pushing a player off the ball, I believe it is. I use our dryer all the time. So there's no moment. Scott Barrett playing blindside flanker and Artie playing at open side. So they have got Scott Barrett at 6 But Artie Savi is still playing number 8, and instead Duplessis Karifi there at 6 for them. And also, we have got, yes, but we have one, but who knows why. And Jimmy, I think it was Jimmy, wasn't it? Jimmy Longschlong earlier on, and Roof with the wave. Or sorry, Kerr with the wave to Roof. Played at a fast tempo at the moment. 10 minutes gone already in this contest. You know what Buddy says, Kerr. A little bit of a juggle there for Hotham. Managed to clean it up. I think the Irish-South African rivalry is gathering momentum. Hopefully be on par with the South African-Kiwi rivalry eventually. Blues will play the Waratahs in the quarterfinal. They certainly will. And then another game that's already confirmed is the fact that the Hurricanes will be taking on the Brumbies. Now Taylor. It's the ball up again now. Hotham. Or in fact, Chapman, goes off to Richie Moonga. Taken down by Blackwell. And also up the Canes, says Pads ablaze. Well, the thing is, Hurricanes at the moment, they've got a quarterfinal spot. They've got the home quarterfinal. Oh, sorry, they've got the away quarterfinal against the Brumbies. So that will be a tough game to win. I think from here, they'll probably end up the majority of their games away. Kanina Holo trying to pierce the line. Great tackle made on him by Sam Whitelock. Almost got back up to his feet to go again. Roygard off to the right-hand side. Lomax, big shot coming in on Christian Leo Willie. And the penalty goes the way of the Crusaders. Is Artie at 7 grade? If so, nah, he's at 8. Unfortunately, have your parents returned from Fiji? They have, but then they left again. So they were home for a night, and now they're back away on a little 2 or 3 day excursion. They left yesterday, and they come back Monday. So yeah, about a 3-day excursion that they'll be away for. Me all by myself again. And Bullow was the draw game, very entertaining game. And now they have a taste of the Super Rugby Top 8. They did very well in that game. And 17-17 at halftime to keep the Reds without getting any points in the second half was massive for them. And we thought we found the lucky charm because my parents, in their trip returning from Fiji, they got me a Fijian draw polo shirt. So I was wearing that underneath, and I feel like that kind of helped them over the line. Not really. I think they just played extremely well. Party at Hamish's home, says Obi, although I won't be home soon as well. So that's a bit unfortunate. To be a party without me there. And I start already, says Spotamec. Yeah, they're 12 minutes in at the moment. Cody Taylor now with the rolling maul. Over he goes. Another one for the Crusaders. This is going to be a hard day at the office for the Canes by the looks of it. What you're going to have for dinner? I had some shoestring fries. And for my post-dinner snack, I'll have some shoestring fries. I bought too many shoestring fries, so now I'm going through them all. Plus, we've got a big day of doing stuff tomorrow and probably eating some food. So I decided that I would be light today. Ruben Lover's back and is on the bench, says William. And I know where Hamish lives. I DM you all where it is, says Pads. Well, don't ask Kerr, because Kerr does actually, he knows. He knows a little too well. Ooh. They're saying there might have been obstruction at the end. They're going to double check this one. On that time period, have you ordered food from outside or you cook food by yourself? A little bit of both. So George came round probably about 7 out of the 10 nights that my parents were away. So there was one night that me, him, and Daniel, we ended up having some steak that we cooked up ourselves and then got some chips to go with it. And thanks for the support to the draw, especially with that T-shirt. Says Dro Langi. Yeah, I've been told that I have to wear it for next week when they do play up against either the Crusaders or the Chiefs. This might be called as a no try. You know, so we've got their Kerps, DMs, says Padza. Oh, Kerr, do you know what song she's going to be playing on the piano? Or is it like a made up piece that like is kind of like given to them? Bit of Mozart, perhaps? Mozart was the musician, wasn't he? Who's the painter? That was Vincent van Gogh. And another geezer with no ear, wasn't he? That was Vincent van Gogh. That's a bit weird when you read into that story. Didn't he like chop his ear off to give it to a girl? Like, don't get me wrong, I like women, but I don't think I'd chop my ear off for one. Unless it was completely necessary. Right, there's a collapse by 2 gold. Then obstruction by Crusaders. So it's going to be a no try, but the penalty will still be 5 meters out from the Hurricanes line. So collapse by Dane Cole's 5 meters out is probably lucky not to get a yellow card, I would say. And what you having for tea, Amy? Shoestring fries. I've tried to master the art of cooking them. Still don't get them right. And I was just having a supersized mango chutney rugby burger. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? With extra fries, yeah, you got to have those shoestrings in there. Now 5 meters out from the line. Mate, Artie Savi has the 7 jersey on. They may have had a late injury in that case then. Because Duplessis Karifi's not playing. So Flanders is 6. Brian Iosi has moved to number 8. They made a couple late changes. Same with the Crusaders making their changes late. I don't know if that's tactical or just late injuries, but now the rolling ball is going again. Christian Leo Willie get him very close to the try line now. Just needs to fall over the line. Where's the ball? It's held up. It wasn't in the hands of Christian Leo Willie. In the end, he ended up slipping around. Mango chutney. I had haggis for dinner last night. Was it actually nice though? Or was it rough? I feel like it's probably nice if you know how to cook it, but the mango chutney, jungle table tennis. Gotta love a good mango chutney. Gotta love a good game of table tennis as well. Where's Georgie Paihami? He said that he wasn't coming for this one. So he was going to be here for this exact stream, but then he said that his sister, I think she showed up, and he also said with the early morning start tomorrow, he wants to stay there. So yeah, it's just me solo for this weekend. But he should be in the video over the weekend because I think we're going to be filming stuff that we do. Should be a lot of fun. Do I look cute, says Jane. Let's have a look at you. Absolutely. Tell you what, cute for a pig. I'll give you that. It must be the lipstick. And what condiments do you have with your fries / chips? I just eat them plain. It's like the last lot, I didn't really have much time in between live streams because to cook them's about 25 minutes, somewhere around there. So you're pretty much rushing to try and get that in, and then you're ready to go for the next part, which is getting the stream ready. So I actually finished the chips about 1 minute before the stream, ran out, put the plate out, got a drink, then I was back, ready to go. And Mango Lassie is the official drink of jungle table tennis. Tell you what, I got to go over there and have a go because not only do I enjoy table tennis, I bloody love mangoes. So I feel like that is a match made in heaven. Oh, big shot there on Christian Leo Willie. Now they are still sitting very nicely. Whaina Nuku in a bit of a wrestle there with Simonson. Thanks, babe, says Jane. And he has Swedish blondes on his fries fleshing. But yeah, I ended up not even putting salt on those last lot of chips. They were just plain as anything. Big shot. Getting driven backwards there, Scott Barrett. Now, finally, the offload. Chapman goes to Tom Christie, who straightens. Lassie and Chutney are Hindi words. Thanks, Papa, says Jane. Now 10 meters out. John Afoa has a crack, but he's taken down straight away by his opposite in the scrum, Tavita Mafaleo. Now around the side, Christian Leo Willie. That ball bounced up. Oh, he said it's gone forward. Now the scrum will be in favour of the Hurricanes. But yeah, this game has been very physical throughout the first 16 minutes. It was what we expected. We knew that both of these sides were going to come out firing. Big shot, though, from Artie Savi on Quinton Strange to drive him back about 5 meters. How do I vote, says Vin. There should be in the chat, unless, of course, YouTube have decided to stop it, which they sometimes do. There should be the option of being able to click either button. But if not, then I guess everyone in the chat, let us know who you think is going to be winning this one. Will it be the Hurricanes, who are down by 5 at the moment, or will it be the Crusaders? Looks like a couple injuries just lurking at the moment. I'm currently looking up Mango Lassie. That looks really, really good. I knew it was some sort of like drink, I thought it was a milkshake type thing, and it is. It's bloody beautiful. Now I want one. Crusaders to win, says Joss. We cover all days of the World Test Championship final, Australia versus India, starting on the 7th of June. We plan to. It's just whether or not we get copyright struck or not first. Crusaders by 17, says Jason. So a bit of a one-sided affair in that regard, although they have started at a very fast tempo. Okay, thanks, Crusaders, says Finn. And also all good here, dry and sunny. How's things for you up there, says Flesh. Right, Roygard. Scrum feed 15 meters out now from the Crusaders' own line. They haven't really had many attacking opportunities so far in this contest. stuck inside their own half. Big push coming from the Hurricanes, but that extra 30 kgs advantage for the Crusaders means it's just a bit too much to push now. Big kick downfield from Brett Cameron, nicely taken by Will Jordan. Looks to run it back to the 40 metres, breaking through one tackle, but wrestled down by Braden Iosi. Who's going to win this game depends who's more hungrier. At the moment, I would say if we're basing it off that first 18 minutes or so, the Crusaders have definitely looked like the more dangerous team, and they are still on attack here. Nice run from Braden Enor, held up by Proctor, who gets thrown down in a judo style takedown. Barrett hits it up again. Still down by Lomax. Chapman goes to Jordan. This time he's going for the kick in behind again. It's slowly curling. And Brett Cameron decides he has to take that one. Mango says, Grant, no, Mango's all right. You know, I think I'm going to be on the search for a mango when I go on holiday. You know, just to have a wee geese, see what they've got about. I'll have to be quick because we are actually only going for one day. By the time we travel, we're actually only going for a little bit under a day. So I got to make sure the mangoes are easily accessible. That sounds like a weird pickup line, doesn't it? Sven likes mangoes. Pineapple pie sounds all right. Now going across to the left-hand side, Richie Moonga trying to carve his way through, taken down by Geordie Barrett. Now Chapman again, short ball to Whainā Nuku. Two men needing to tackle him, Iosi and Roygaard. Now Whitelock inching that little bit closer to Mighty Williams, just throws down Savia like he was some sort of rubbish bag. It reminds me, I got to put me rubbish bin out. Not today, but just at some stage next week. That's almost a knock on from Chapman. In fact, it is, and now it's going to be the scrum feed for the Hurricanes. Moras has said, show the rugby and stop talking. Okay. Well, there's a couple things that need to be debunked there, Moras. Unfortunately, due to licensing, we can't show any match footage or audio. And if I was to stop talking, it would be very quiet. So, you know, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I can show you the stadium, but unfortunately, there's a cricket pitch there. I don't know if you're a cricket fan or not. I can't read what your hat says, but yeah, can't really do either of the two options for you, sorry. That would freak me out, says April. Magpie. Jeez. Magpies are weird though, aren't they? They're always trying to get in there. Right. Oh, yeah. I also got the good shot on Christian Leo Willie. Oh, shoulder to the head. He was dipping down because he was being tackled, but Aussie may have still gone a little bit high. I think there's going to be a yellow card for Brian Aosi. We can't imagine Kiwi Lad stream without Hamish's voice, says Coding. Yeah, it would be quite quiet, wouldn't it? It'd just be like this. That was my face of if something was happening. But yeah, I couldn't really replicate it too well. Unfortunately, looks like the Crusaders, they might consider the 3. So they've got time to upgrade that one to a yellow card. Or sorry, from a yellow to a red. Oh dear, that's a yellow. Says April. We have a pet magpie, do you? The magpies that are about here, like, it's scary, those things. You know, they look angry all the time. I think one of them tried to get our cat one day. Right now, obviously, they're going to spend the next 10 minutes in the bin. Cody Taylor now with the line out throw for the Crusaders, only sitting the 5 meters out. Nicely taken by Quinton Strange. Advantage in favour of the Saders. Now Cody Taylor. We're going to get this one moving slightly forward. I like to shoot magpies, says Sven. Right. Oh, Cody Taylor's over. Another try for the Crusaders. Hurricanes just don't really know how to get out of their own half at the moment. And I think that's going to be a very tricky part of this game. If they can't get that territory, 7th try of the season for Cody Taylor. Crusaders, they are certainly trying to build momentum heading into their game next week, more than likely up against the Fijian Roar. Oh man, the Crusaders looking too good for the McCains today, says April Tui. And who's the Blues' next opponent, Kiwi Lads? They will be playing up against the Waratahs. And that will be next week on either Friday or Saturday. Normally they go 7:05. Wait a minute, who's got home games though? They might have to change it a little bit. because of the home sides. I think we've got 3 Kiwi teams who are at home. So I think someone will end up playing at 4:35, and then one at 7:05, and then one at 7:05 the next night. And a pet possum, Lady Mrs. is big on the old animal rescue. Says Jason, well, don't let Sven near them because it sounds like he has quite a bit of fun not looking after them. What if Hamish wrote on the paper wrote on paper what is going on and hold the paper up to the webcam? We actually got very close to that a little while ago because I lost my voice badly for some BBL streams. I think it was not last year, maybe the year before, and I had like no voice. I was really struggling, but we were still doing live streams. Like my throat was dead, but kept going. Still, we're doing like 6 hours of streaming each night. Probably did some permanent damage, but she'll be right. Not the end of the world yet. Tom Christie, 25 meters out from the Crusaders line now. The Mighty Williams seems to not like Artie Savia because he has been taking him down often throughout this matchup. Ball available for Chapman now to put the ball high from his own 22, almost charged down by, I think that was Caleb Delaney who face planted the turf. Nice take from Roy Guard, the informed 9 for the Hurricanes. Getting a holo, plays half, goes off to Devon Flanders. Runs on to Tom Christie, who does make the tackle on him. Roy Guard now looks to line up Artie Savia. Another step coming and loose ball. Picked up nicely by Goodhue. Kick downfield from Dallas McLeod. Now the space starting to open up in behind for the Hurricanes again. Now Geordie Barrett, ball in hand. Kicks it down the middle of the park. Not looking for touch with that one. Goes straight to Richie Moonga, who now has space to be able to run this ball back, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Big shot on him by Caleb Delaney. Flattens the Kiwi fly half. Now short side, Chapman sees a gap, stolen by Kenny Naholo, and now it's a race to the corner. Will Jordan takes him down. Brilliant tackle there from the fullback. Gets back up, almost ends on the ball. Now Blackwell goes across. It's a loose ball. Someone's got to pick it up. No one wants it. Now it's picked up by Flanders. Breaks through one tackle. Moves up to 20 meters out, but that was a mistake from the youngster. Chapman thought he saw something on the short side. Jack Goodhue gave the ball away. Quick hands there. Burke. Ball on the outside to Kenny Naholo. He cuts back inwards. Had Coles on his outside. Doesn't often like to get rid of that ball when he's hanging on to it. Looks like there's an injury for Dallas McLeod here as well. Now short ball off to Caleb Delaney. 7 out from the line. Straight out in front of the post. Burke now looks for the offload. In fact, it was Cameron. It's going to be the knock on. Cody Taylor almost ate the ground with his face. Now Whainā Nuku breaking the line again. These two sides are going to be tied at half time. Moonga passes back across. Now there's an injury for the Hurricanes. Chipped him behind. Dane Coles does well to clean it up. Will Jordan not quite able to retain his own kick. Now Roygaard goes down the short side. Offload away now to Artie Savia. Breaking through an open space. One-on-one with Moonga, who ties up his bootlaces, puts him into touch. That was just some good rugby. Back to back to back there from both sides. Just everything happening. Savia's asking about something. And sorry, Kane, sleep early tonight. Now, I mean, that was their first chance of decent action. But yeah, Goodhue tried to go with the ball on the outside to Dallas McLeod. I'm trying to work out where his injury came from. Might have just been him chasing. Up hurting himself. And then there was an injury, I think, for Kenny Naholo was the other man who stayed down, but great low tackle from Richie Moonga. I always say it. He's one of the best at tying up the bootlaces and just hanging on to those ankles until you fall down like you're a tall tree. Yeah, some very good tackles made by both sides throughout that play. Crusaders looking serious in their defense. Kenny Naholo looking like he might have a bit of an injury here, but like he will be continuing this matchup. 8 tries in his career from his 11 matches. And we discussed this. Your cat is a demon. Says Grant. Deflection. And let's go Sadist. Says Blues Nay. Right. Line out time. Nicely claimed by Sam Whitelock. Now Christie goes across to Christian Leo Willie. 10 meters out now from the line. Looks like Chapman's going to put up a kick himself. Goes into touch. Let's go. The Sadist, says Blues Nate. At the moment, they came in as slight favourites. I believe they're even more favourites now due to the 2 quick tries that they were able to get. We're already 24 minutes through this matchup. One half almost down. Who do you reckon's going to win this? I mean, the Crusaders are looking the goods at the moment. Normally, when we get closer and closer to playoff games, that is when the Crusaders do really step up. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the case in this one as well. Big run from Devon Flanders, though, for the Hurricanes. Well, I should mention, are still playing. That looked a little bit cheap from Dane Coles. Charged in, off his feet, took out the Crusaders defender, but they have now got the advantage themselves there, the Hurricanes. Roygaard goes across to Blackwell and behind. Brett Cameron tried to give it to Lomax. Wasn't able to hang on, and now they go back for another penalty to the Hurricanes. There was an offside and then there was a high tackle. So they're in a predicament here. Do you take 3 to get that little bit closer? Or do you go for the corner while you're with a man disadvantage? Let's go. The Hurricanes says nice food takeaways. Nice food takeaways. Do you review takeaways by any chance? Nice food takeaways. And have you reviewed any in Christchurch? It's where I'm heading tomorrow. Do you know where the good food is? Hopefully. Probably get some shoestring fries while I'm out and about, as you do. Yeah, that was quite a cheap shot from Dane Coles on the ground. And yes, we have, and you're right. He actually just walked out of the room. Knows we're talking about him, says Flesham. Oh, okay. So Brandon Iosi's yellow card stays as a yellow card. It doesn't get upgraded here. It looks like Jordie Barrett will be lining up 3 points. Still wondering how much I'm going to bet on the Blues to win the Super, says Spider Mick. I would go $1. That will be about all you need to do. This weekend's Detroit Grand Prix, IndyCar race, dual-sided pit lane. Some cars will pit to the right and some will pit to the left, says Kiwi Gamer. Jordie Barrett lining up this kick. It's about 20 metres out. They might be using up a little bit more time on the clock here, but the kick is good from Jordie Barrett, and that will now make the score 12 points to 0. Get curly fries from Denny's in Christchurch. Okay, I'm going to star that. Denny's. Whereabouts is Denny's? Is that close to the city centre, Nick, or is it somewhere else out to the side? Because we're also going out Rolleston way. And then where else? We probably just go anywhere, really. And Denny's OMFG, says Obi. Do Stormers and Munster also playing in this after? They competed in the final? No. So they are now all finished up until the URC starts up next year. Or sorry, later this year. Delaney, another shot on him by John Afoa. A counteract there from the Bristol Bears representative as well. Roygaard puts it high, goes out on the full. Rare mistake from him. Takeaway shop in South Auckland. Says nice food takeaways. Oh, so you actually have your own takeaway shop. And yes, City Centre Bro, says Nick. Right, we're going to have to give that a look. Definitely, because straight away after you said that, Obi said Denny's OMFG, which I assume means it's good. Have they got anything else good that you'd recommend, Nick? Nice run from Good run from Goodhue, I almost tried to say, which is quite a tongue twister. Now around the side, Lester Whainanoku goes with the pick and go, breaking through 3 tackles. Now across to the right, Scott Barrett. Hits it up to 10 metres out from the line. Chapman again, the young Tasman Mako representative. Oh, Savier's gone through the middle. 2 gold offside. That's Dane Cole's little chip behind from Richie Moonga. Doesn't sit up for Whainanoku. They'll go back for another penalty, though, this time in favour of the Crusaders again. Hurricanes discipline really letting them down here. Denny's breakfast, says Obi. To be fair, we're up there for a day, and that does include breakfast. Denny's got the best honey chicken with salad and chips. Okay. We'll have to give it a look, perhaps. Whainanoku disappointed to not be able to hang on to that ball. They're going for a scrum now, the Crusaders, and the pancakes as well. Nice. Is Denny's like an actual food chain, or is Denny's just like a one-off place in Christchurch? I assume there's multiple Denny's, though. Kind of sounds like a diner, doesn't it? Denny's diner. Dane Cole's having a chat to the referee, trying to learn the rules of the scrum again, just in case. 29 minutes gone on the clock. Will Jordan, I think he will be getting involved in this move. More than likely. In fact, Dallas McLeod's looking like a good option as well, maybe off to this right-hand side. I've only seen the one in Christchurch. Says Obi. Chapman now feeds the ball in. Christian Leo Willie breaking off to the left-hand side now. Will Jordan pass out to Enor. Sold the dummy. Stretches and scores. Braden Enor getting another try now for the Crusaders. Hayden has said, shout me out. Shout out to you, Hayden. Fun fact, we share 2 letters of our name. He has the best Denny's in New Zealand, hands down, says Nick. Do they do fried chicken, Nick? Because one of the friend group absolutely loves fried chicken. You guys probably know from the other Kiwi lads which one that is, but do they do fried chicken? Because if they do, I think I'll be able to convince them to go there pretty easily. Come on, the Cane says April Tui. And damn, Saders says Blues Nate. Yeah, a lot of points being scored by one of these two sides. So many by the other at the moment. I think it's the perfect example of Crusaders picking the right time to start finding their momentum. Look at what happened in their last week's game. They were able to win up against the Waratahs, 42 points to 18, looked pretty dominant in that contest. The week before, beating Moana Pacifica, 41 points to 7. And the week before that, having that close victory over the Blues, beating the Force. Their last loss was week 10. And why so little like on this channel, guys? Let's help out here by smashing the like button. Says Rooster. And also, you want chicken, go to Korean barbecue in the city. We've actually, I think we might be heading there as well. I think that was going to be the tea time meal because someone was saying that, yeah, Korean barbecue is actually apparently quite good. Kick downfield now to the 22. Nicely taken by Whitelock. Big shot being put onto him by Barrett. John Arfoa asking Dane Coles to come in and try and get him, and he's laughing about it as well. Dane Coles trying to climb over the top of the breakdown. One's kicked high from Chapman. Great take from Josh Morby. Go to Empire Chicken. I got to work out. We're only up there for probably about 4 meals, so we have to spend them wisely, won't we? Will Jordan back makes the Crusaders better, says Joe Webby, and go somewhere else for the fried chicken. Why do the Highlanders have to be out? They suck, says BSG. They just didn't get enough points, unfortunately, throughout the season. Big win for the Fijian draw as well, though, to help boost them into the top 8, where they will be facing either Crusaders or the Chiefs, depending on the Force Chiefs game later on tonight. Now, Brett Cameron, short ball from Geordie Barrett, gives it off to Sinkinson. Had the ball stripped. Going to be the knock on and the scrum feed now for the Crusaders again. Disappointed there for Bailey Sinkinson. Shout me out, says Hayden again. 2 shout outs. It's like a sponsored deal, isn't it? Except I'm not being paid. To be fair, Hayden, all you have to do really to get shouted out is just comment. We read out every comment. We read out who said every comment. Sometimes your names are a bit dodgy, such as the ones who do try and trick us. Crown Barbecue gas-free species machines, says Obi. And also, who's Blues got for next week? They are going to be playing up against the Waratahs. I will take a rip hit of my wife's fart from her ass, and I'll be out for the night, says Sharp. Sounds like you have a very committed relationship, you know? Willing to experiment with each other. I don't know whether that's a normal occasion or just like a Saturday night thing, but hopefully it goes well. Hopefully she don't push too hard and you get a mouthful of something else. But that's going to be now a penalty in favour of the Hurricanes. Early tackle, actually. There, I was laughing at the fact that someone was injured in the practice playoffs. There's Monsieur. And hey, there's another Tui on the chat. Says April Tui. And Granny rocks. Says Aiden. See? Richie Moong, a nice little grubber in behind there. Cameron just not able to clean it up too well. Looks a little bit dewy out there at the moment. The Hurricanes on the halfway line. Dane Coles, another line out throw. Already see some battle scars on the players from the first 34 minutes. But Coles throws the ball into Devon Flanders. Taken at the front. Roy Gard now goes across to Sinkinson. That's a big pass to Billy Proctor, but I think it smacked him fair in the mush. Now the counter-attack for the Crusaders. Richie Moonga kicks it in behind, looking for the 50-22. That ball's going to pull up just inside of the field of play. So now Kenny Naholo has to try and run it back. He swats off Richie Moonga, but Christie tries to get over the ball. Royard off the left boot will put in the box kick. Decent distance on it as well. Nicely taken by Will Jordan. Now counter-attacking chance for Jack Goodhue. Goes across to Will Jordan again, who's found a gap up the middle. Royard gets him low, though. Finally offload up to Chapman. Loose ball, Moonga able to grab it. Raining or last try scorer now, 40 metres out from the line. Proctor almost on the ball again. The Hurricanes close to getting the turnover, but just not quite able to do so as of yet. Goodhue ball on the outside to Dallas McLeod. Chips it over the top there. Geordie Barrett having to chase him, but Morby was back there. Now tackled by Jordan. 10 metres from their own line now. The Canes go. The Satyr says, Hayden, Super Grand was my go-to show in the 90s. Super Grand. That's also like a game, isn't it? I remember my sister used to play a game, how you had to be a granny and you had to rescue cats from like ladders and stuff. And it was like a maze with multi-levels, and you had to like go from each level and get the cats without something else happening, and the cats had to follow you down the level, the ladder. I don't know what it was. But I think they made like 15 games of it. It was a hit. And in a holo, that looked a little bit high from to Mikey Williams, and the penalty does go the Hurricanes' way. 4 minutes remaining. They are yet to get themselves a try in this first half. Yeah, the Hurricanes. Almost got me. Cameron kicks it into touch. Okay, they're just showing the replay, and they're saying that Kenny Nolo needs to try and work on that fend rather than just putting out a shoulder. Find more success, says Justin and Marshall. Now loose ball. Goes in behind, picked up by Brett Cameron, who finds the offload away to Sinkinson, who now is going to test out his pace. Goes for the chip in behind. It's a race between him and Goodhue, slowly drifting towards the touchline. Is that a 50-22? Maybe not quite. I think he was just inside of the Crusaders half. Where did he kick it from? Might have been close. Yeah, that's a 50-22 for Sinkinson. Brilliant work. It's a little cheeky one. That's probably one of the smallest 50-22s we have seen, but one of the more effective ones. Great work from the youngster Sinkinson in only his second game. 3 minutes remaining. What do you think of the Drillers game against the Reds? They did very well in that contest. They showed the passion, and yeah, they've made their way through to the quarterfinals. I like to think that our lucky, we had a shirt on for the Fijian draw. There you go. It's under there. It's slightly see-through, but we did have that shirt on, and now I've been told that I have to wear it for their finals game as well because they did win. That's going to be thrown in, nicely taken by Devon Flanders. Rainy Orsi goes across to Geordie Barrett, tackled by Tom Christie, who is an absolute tackling machine in the Super Rugby competition. Him and Harmon are normally in the race for who have made the most. Now going off to the side, Braden Aosi moving to only 10 metres out from the line. Royard goes to Blackwell, who will be the Hurricanes player. Can break through. Nice wide pass now out to Geordie Barrett. Tries to fend, finds the offload to Proctor, and he'll go in for the first try of the match for the Hurricanes now. And they needed it. They were falling behind by quite some margin, but now get them back into the contest right near halftime. If you can put in, we go live like 8:50 p.m. to 8 or 10:30 p.m. There's Brandon there. Nice run, though, from Geordie Barrett. Gets the ball away to Proctor. Just finding that offload to Billy Proctor. And thank God, yes, the Canes. Says April Tui. See Will Jordan, he's disappointed. He's got an angry look on his face, which we don't normally see from Will Jordan. Normally a cool, calm, collected cucumber of a man, Will Jordan. Now 50 seconds remaining in the half. I would say by the time Geordie Barrett lines up this kick, it will probably be half time. And if it's not, then more than likely they'll just put the ball into touch when it is. Now Geordie Barrett sitting on 118 points scored throughout this season. If he gets 6 in this game, he would overtake Richie Mo'unga. And, ooh, boy, that's a roughie from Geordie Barrett. Almost went down the tunnel out to the side of Sky Stadium. It was not ideal. Irish, I think you know what I do. Says Brandon, and you mean no one likes the Crusaders. Says nice food takeaways. And yes, the Cane says April. It was a brilliant offload from Geordie Barrett to get it away to Proctor. Now, 40 minutes in, it will be the Crusaders who are kicking this one off. More than likely the Hurricanes. They would look to just tap this one into touch. If they are deep inside of their own area, nicely taken by James Blackwell. Gets a couple of extra meters here. Roygar puts the ball into touch. And that's going to be halftime. 8 points to 19. And terrible kick. Yeah, it wasn't one of Geordie Barrett's best ones. He kept it real low, which I don't know whether or not he did on purpose or whether that was just how it came off the boot. Yeah, certainly not the kick that he would have been after there, Geordie Barrett. But the first half already down 19 points to 8. I'm going to check the odds again for this matchup. There we go. I better charge my phone. It is on 1%. There we go. We're sorted. If you like the ABs, you like the status, says Obi, although there's a few other players. The Blues are probably, I wonder if there's more All Blacks, Crusaders or Blues. The Blues are right up there. Like you look at their 4 pack, you got Nipo Lolala, Ofa Tuangafasi, you've got Dalton Pavali, Hoskins Satutu, Akiri Iwani, Finley Christie, Bowden Barrett, Stephen Perafetta, Rico Ioane, Caleb Clark, bit of Mark Talia as well. So there's quite a few at the Blues as well. And last night, when I say we big build up, Joe went doing big build like Hamish, says Brandon. Hey, Hamish, says Doug Angel. He goes, oh, you doing well, mate? Enjoying the game so far? Crusaders not doing too badly throughout the early stages of this one. Decent half of rugby. Crusaders defo the better side so far since rugby yet. Yeah. They just seem to have that territory game working in their favour at the moment, plus that early pressure where they were just able to get points after points. Although the Hurricanes to be down by 11, they'll be relatively happy. And yeah, was that Canes? I assume you're talking about that kick. Yeah, it wasn't one of Geordie Barrett's best ones we've ever seen, unfortunately. Yeah, the odds aren't good for the Hurricanes at the moment. They are sitting quite heavy under, but that doesn't mean they can't win. We have seen underdogs come back before. Definitely ones who are down by more than 11 points. They just need to get some go forward, get some territory. Artie Savi at the moment, he's been working hard in that first half, that physicality side of things. Devon Flanders as well. I think we're going to need to see a little bit more from him. And yeah, the back, like Geordie Barrett and Proctor haven't played a bad game here. It's just the fact that they haven't really had the ball enough, unfortunately, to be able to make the most of it. Whereas the Crusaders, they've been pretty solid in terms of just being able to continuously apply that pressure. Who are you message? Says Brandon. I sent a message to George because no one knows what's happening tomorrow morning. Pretty much is the easiest way of putting it. At this stage, we're not sure who's picking who up and who's going where. So we're organising that with the boys at the moment. So yeah, George is confused at where we're meeting. I'm confused at where we're meeting. Though we've got to work that out. Aussie have an easy run in the World Cup. I'm putting money on them, says Obi. Crusaders is the best team. Go the Crusaders. Go win win. Ha 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 ha. Says Talia. In there as well. Yeah, the second half, I think if the Hurricanes can get a bit more position, could be decent. No, the Crusaders are definitely going to keep that pressure going. Last 20 minutes as well. Normally, when the Crusaders start to up their tempo that little bit more. Showing a man on a motorbike at the moment. It's weird how often you see the same ads each and every week from watching rugby. Like they never really mix it up. The next one's probably going to be something to do with gas tanks. No, we're back into the rugby. Okay. No gas tanks here, unfortunately. Now, second half just around the corner for the Canes. One try scored by the Canes in that first half. It was in the 39th minute, and that was Billy Proctor who managed to get himself the try. Then for the Crusaders, Whainānuku, Taylor, and Inor, the three try scorers throughout this matchup. Richie Moonga able to get the two conversions. Geordie Barrett missing the conversion, but to get the 3 points earlier on for the penalty goal. And halftime trivia says nice food takeaways. We could have a quiz in terms of, or not really a quiz, but a prediction of who we think will score the first try of the second half. The player. See if anyone can get it right. Yeah, fine. Nuku scoring extremely early in that last half of rugby in the 3rd minute. And then it almost looked like they had another one for Cody Taylor, but then it was held up. Christian Leo Willie, I think, also got held up. A World Cup. I'm worried about the referee. Wayne Barnes, the worst of the ABs, says Spider Mick. Billy Proctor doing well. And Proctor getting the rewards. That kid's got very wide eyes. I think he was very excited. He also had the tongue out. I wonder what the attendance is for this game. It's actually like a decent sized crowd by the sounds of it. That was Will Jordan passing it straight into Leicester Whainānuku's head. We've had 71 tackles each made by these two sides. They're actually completely identical there. Second half, Sam White like to score. There's Blues, Nate. Defenders beaten 7 for the Crusaders, 6 for the Hurricanes, 4 and 4 for the penalty count. It's relatively even in that regard. Kicking meters 476 for the Crusaders. Line breaks 5-1 in favour of the Hurricanes. Four mauls won though from the Crusaders. Will Jordan, first try scorer of the second half. Probably a good pick. He hasn't really scored that many this year, has he, compared to last year? But he just hasn't had enough time. Victory 55%, 54 for the possession. The Crusaders. So every stat is relatively even, other than the fact that the Crusaders have got those few more points on the board. Like meters made, they're only split by 10 different ones. 81% win predictor. I just asked someone about Denny's in Christchurch, and they said that it's not good. Six times in a row champions. The Crusaders of Super Rugby. Just mentioned right. Second half, they must be close. Scott Robinson, he's ready to go. He's like, come on, boys. We're ready to go. Sky Stadium. Plenty of yellow in the stands. Nunes versus Aldana. Is that on the 11th of June? That's this week. No, next weekend. Who's fighting in the UFC this weekend? We're going to have another quick Google. UFC. Oh, Kai Kara France. Kiwi boy up against Amir Albazi. That will be a good fight. Also on that card, they got Jim Miller, the veteran. He's had like 50 fights. In fact, more than that, 53, I believe. Tim Elliott. Is that all the fights? Daniel Santos. It's a light card. I think they've only got like one heavyweight fight in there by the looks of it, and 2 World Cup this year, ladies soccer and the men's World Rugby says Spider Mick. And New Zealand Warriors solid win over the Dolphins. Be a solid fight, says Blues Nate. And also, what about those Wars? Says Tony. They did very well, Tony, getting themselves that victory. The last time I saw the score, it was 6 points to 4, but I assume it changed a little bit from that point. Hope you've been having a good week so far. I mean, the door is always open if you want to come on for a bit of a post match chat to tell us that the Warriors are going to win the NRL. I would be okay with that. Talk about UFC as well, to be fair. I've been looking through at that card for 289. You got Nunes versus Aldana, Charles Oliveira versus Benil Dariush. That'll be a good one. It's only Dolphins. It's bottom week, although they're a bit of a dark horse of the competition. There's a guy called Adam Fuggett. That's an unlucky last name. Poor man. Our Warriors suck, says Nice Food Takeaways. Yeah, so it's a decent card. Marvin Vittori versus Cannonier is going to be a good card too. That is the main event because then that's kind of like who's is he going to fight next? He might end up fighting one of those guys again, unless is he already booked in for someone? Israel Adesanya in the future? I don't think he is, unless it's like 291 or something. No, that's Poirier Gaethje. Sterling versus O'Malley's booked in for the 20th of August. There's a rugby team called the Dolphins. It's a rugby league team, yes. We need to do some more UFC commentary. We've actually never done a UFC commentary before, which is so weird because we've done boxing before. We did Usyk versus Anthony Joshua, which was a really weird one because like that was the one where Anthony Joshua was like, if he beat me, he must be great. Let's give him 3 hip hip hoorays for beating me. So like, yeah, I don't know whether or not that's the best boxing one to base it off, but I could hear a dog barking, but they've actually got it in like the commentary, but they've got it so that it sounds like a dog's behind you. We haven't had that gas company ad yet, though, which is a bit of a shame. We do love watching people shift around gas canisters. Now we've got the sheep instead. TV says Tom Worky. I assume that's what channel on the TV. It is on Sky Sport 1. For us here in New Zealand now, I'm absolutely pooped, my dude. I just fall asleep on your stream, says Tony. That would be a first time ever because I've been close to falling asleep on a late night stream, but have never quite reached that stage. Although the problem is, since you're there, we can't draw anything on your head. We might be able to add like a filter to your face or something, but you better get some snoozes, get some sleep. McDelivery. That might be an idea for when we're up in Chicha. There's been a lot of ads. How many ads we had? This has been like a 20-minute break. We're going to go back. How far? We'll go back 20 minutes. They were still playing. Okay. 13. Okay, so we're up to about a 12-minute break at the moment since the rugby was on. So maybe they didn't have as many stoppages in that first half as they were supposed to. So it's actually not too bad. Who do the Crusaders play in the quarterfinal? Either the Fijian Drua or the Western Force. One of those two sides. It's not quite confirmed yet. But if the Force beat the Chiefs, then it will be Crusaders Force. If they don't, then it will be Crusaders Fijian Drua. And smash up your like button, says Mark. 3 tries being scored so far by Whaiananuku, Taylor, and Inor. They're going to be talking to Scott Hansen, assistant coach. My mum's just sent me a message. Oh, everyone's sending me messages during the stream, but she has said that it's going to rain tomorrow afternoon in Christchurch. That kind of sucks. Hello from sunny Barcelona, Kiwi lads. There's one Pablo Moyano. Welcome in again, mate. You doing well? They are chatting to Corey Jane during this 18-minute halftime break. They're getting longer, I think, the half times, but I guess it's more time to put advertising in, more time to make the moolah. Yeah, I don't think there was a huge amount of stoppages in that first half that actually caused it to be slow. Now, Richie Morgan are ready to go for the second half. Hello from the Sunshine Coast. Wait for 28 hours, says Bushback. Probably a time to sleep soon. Bushback, I would say. I've done that a few times over the weekends with live streaming. Although you reach that part, don't you, how you kind of get past the tiredness and then you just kind of feel like, oh, do I stay up for another day? But you probably should sleep. Would be a good idea. That's going to be kicked off for the second half. Dallas McLeod goes across now to Christian Leo Willie. Rolling this one back now. Will be Chapman. Hey, bro, says Cullen, welcome in. I'll put the ball high. Nicely taken there by Josh Morby. Back across to the right. Roygard goes to Lomax. I was super tired, but now I've got energy again. Yeah, it's weird how it happens like that, isn't it? How you get, and then like an hour or two's time, you'll be absolutely shattered again. So you got to make sure you're sleeping at some stage when you're tired. And go to red and black, says Christopher. Now passed across. Afo has been taken off the field for Ruben O'Neill, the youngster. Getting his chance for the Crusaders. Now Morby, first receiver, taken down by Leo Willie. Couldn't get over the ball now. Roygard has it slapped out of his hands almost by the Crusaders. A lot of pressure being put on early. As Materan, he does not play for the Crusaders anymore, unfortunately. He did leave at the end of the last season. But he had a pretty decent run in the Crusaders camp, Pablo Matera. Now Barrett passes off to Cameron. Barrett again plays half, goes to Caleb Delaney. Ran at the line, didn't really make a single meter from it, and the penalty goes the way of the Hurricanes. Right, Sam Whitelock's been replaced for the Crusaders. That's for Zach Gallagher. And Ruben O'Neill's on the field for John R5. I think that's the only two changes that we've seen between the two sides. Here is Whitelock. So I see John R4 there. Whitelock, there he is. He was just having a little bit of a chat. Ruben O'Neill actually having a bit of a chat with John R4. What a good crowd, says Bushbig. Yeah, it's looking pretty decent for this game. Hardy Savia now breaking through the tackle with Scott Barrett. Has his pants pulled down. Cody Taylor's got a face full of ass at the moment. He won't be enjoying, I wouldn't think. Now the ball's being turned over by the Crusaders. Goes across to Chapman. Richie Moonga now goes to Goodhue. Offload on the inside to Christie. Almost ends up landing on top of Goodhue in the breakdown. Afo can't play in the finals. Says Ed. And what about the draw versus Red? Says Mimi. They did very well, the draw. Winning that game, 41 points to 17. Like that second half, they just came out and they just kept going, which is great to see. And now they've got themselves a spot in the quarterfinals. I just found out that the Landers are out of the playoffs. I'm so mad. Who should I support now? Says Nick. Wow, you've got a few options. I wouldn't say support the Reds just yet because they might also get knocked out of that top eight. Kenny Naholo having to take that ball from inside the in-goal area, charging up at the line, gets back up to his feet. Cody Taylor able to take him down, go to Chiefs, says Christopher. Now Roygard. Back to Cameron. Does look to find the touchline, and it's a relatively successful clearance, about 32 metres out now. Crusaders are going to have themselves the line out. Naholo is a good run to get him around Dallas McLeod. I like Bowden Barrett, so the Blues, says Nick. You could go the Blues. You see a lot of All Blacks in the Blues side as well for the future squad that gets selected. I believe it's on about the 17th or the 18th of June or somewhere along those lines. That's another penalty, this time going the way of the Hurricanes for not releasing. Work from Kenny Naholo, though. Are you going to watch the next game, says Bushpig? I might get to see the start of it, but we're not going to be commentating that one or the one after, unfortunately, mainly because we're getting up super early tomorrow because we're going on holiday for a day. Me, George, Daniel, Daniel's girlfriend, and then we're meeting up with Isaac and his girlfriend up in Christchurch. So be a good trip. It's one that I don't think we've had all of the lads together for a trip, or even all the lads together for a very long time. Every time we've tried to get four of us, it's always ended up that eventually one of us has been busy. So it's probably almost been a good year since, or maybe 6 months, I'd say, since we've had all four of us together. So yeah, it will be good. Evening, brother. How are you? Here, all good? Just Nippy here in Derv says Birdie V. Yeah, my mum sent me a message because she's actually up where we're going on holiday. And she said, it's cold. It's going to rain tomorrow. So be prepared. Bring a jersey. That one didn't quite go as well as they would have liked there. Josh Morby tried to get the grubber on it. Actually ended up missing the ball. Heck yeah, lads. Says Mark. Oh. Okay, didn't get the foot to it. So Dane Coles now has the line out throw for the Hurricanes. Nicely taken by Delaney. Goes off to Roygard. Sinkinson goes to Barrett. Now Cameron. Option on the outside if they decide to use them. They find Kenny Naholo with that one. Wrestled down by Goodhue. A little bit of a counteract there as well from the Crusaders. They did lose their footing. Now Yossi goes across to Cameron again. Taken by Morby. Who had actually, that was high from Quinton Strange. It's got to be an advantage, doesn't it? Second advantage? No, they say it's all good. Tackled him round his nose. Now Roygard going off to the right again to Vita Mafaleo. Hits it up. Great tackle made by Christian Leo Willie, who almost had his hands on the ball. Now Roygard goes to Barrett. Morby decides to take on the contact rather than risking going wide to Flanders. Is Ruben Love playing? I believe he is off the bench. Yes, he is. He's number 22 for this contest. Now off to the left. Nice hands. Billy Proctor backs himself. Just tries to find Sinkinson, who's knocked the ball on. I believe the advantage must be over here. Kia ora, Fancy. Says Ice Cartel. Welcome in, mate. Will Jordan. Taken down there on the 22 again. Now back across. Goodhue. The Mighty Williams. Bit of a juggle. Oh, got held down there, Geordie Barrett by Tamaiti. Still inside of the 22. Now Whainganuku taken down again, this time by Flanders. He's made a lot of tackles throughout this matchup. He's similar to Tom Christie style numbers. Now Zach Gallagher. Tackled by Taveta Mafaleo. Got the knee down, so they do have to release. Over the ball there for Dane Coles, the veteran. And he gets himself the turnover. Oh, Cody Taylor and Dane Coles having a bit of a scrap there. And because of it, the Hurricanes have just decided we'll take this one quickly. Have a player out that looked like a knock on about 3 different times. Now Sinkinson has knocked that ball under. Dane Coles and Cody Taylor still pushing each other. No, not quite. I think Cody Taylor wanted Dane Coles to be in that breakdown so that he could shove him. Now Crusaders with the ball loose. Lomax dives on it. Loose ball. Knock on from the Hurricanes, and the Crusaders now have the ball. I almost read what George sent me. And Coles is at it. Says Flesh, and he certainly is. And then Cody Taylor was not happy. And then they just started getting right in each other's face. And then just continuously pushing each other. I think at one stage, Dane Coles got the fist out and said, "You want me to punch it?" Cody Taylor laughed and said, "I don't think you will, mate." Okay. So pretty much Cody Taylor has gone over, and him and Dane Coles are getting mic'd up at the moment. It's like an episode of Dr. Phil, except the referee's Dr. Philip. They shake hands. But the gist of it was Dane Coles, after winning the penalty, was slapping the back of the Crusaders player. So Cody Taylor goes over, and pretty much he said, "If you're going to disrespect us, we're going to disrespect you as well." Well, Crusaders going to beat everyone. Ain't Cody and Dane Coles old school mates? They are. They're both in the All Blacks, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Although I don't think Dane Coles will get selected. And one player, I want to take one. I want to take one for the team and spark out that Grubs Cole, says Grant. Final match will be Crusaders versus the Chiefs. And also, I saw where can we watch this full game, please? Unfortunately, the only real options are behind paid subscriptions, which is either Super Sport, Spark, Stan. Those are kind of your best options. 2 weeks' time, Amy, I'm leaving New Zealand, going north with Mum for 3 months. Go visit Mum's fam. Says Spider Mick. Hopefully, it does all go well for you. Right, scrum feed again. I think Dane will be selected for the ABs, says Bush Pig. Although he's a bit of a pocket rocket in terms of the temper. You don't want to end up with him having a breakout while out there on the field because it could end up costing you a game, could end up with him as a yellow card. So you got to be careful. I don't think him and Cody Taylor have finished their chatter. I think they'll be trying to smash each other throughout the rest of this contest. It'll be a charity boxing match in the future. Dane Coles versus Cody Taylor from that moment. Once teammates, then enemies. Okay, scrum once again has to go up. Ball just not quite going in. Lomax getting asked what the matter is. The matter is he's facing up against 145, 6'6" prop called to Mighty Williams. Like that's the problem. You don't go into one of those scrums thinking, oh yeah, no, I'm going to push him backwards. Although Lomax backs himself. It'll be an interesting scrum. They don't have the weight advantage here, the Hurricanes. They don't have the feed either. Now, ball's gone in. Big push there from the Hurricanes. Penalty goes their way as well. It's actually on that far side. Taveta Mafaleo. Quick tap taken by Roy Guard. He wasn't on the mark, though, they say. You're going to go back. And also, Dane Cole, bro, you stole my high school girlfriend, Cody Taylor. Oh, she said you're ugly. You should get a Super Sport affiliate link. Says Mopeds there. I mean, it is an option in a way, but it's more of the case of I'm a little bit hesitant with affiliate links because like I've got one for Flow Rugby, but I never put it anywhere because their service always breaks down. And I don't want to be the one who's like, you should watch this to be able to watch this. And then it ends up not actually working for them. So that's the tricky part of affiliate side of things. Time for the younger players to shine now. No time for the oldies. Says Buttermaker would be interesting if Coles raised a fist. The World Cup like that, says Fleshin. It's more interesting if he throws it, though, rather than just raising it, you know. Now off the back, Dane Cole's big shot on him. Loose ball picked up by Cam Roygard. Almost snipes his way right through, but it is going to be Geordie, or in fact, Scott Barrett makes the tackle there. Savia going across now to Blackwell. Oh, fine. Nuki tries to go through the middle, and the penalty will go the way of the Hurricanes. It's getting feisty out there at the moment. Cody Taylor steals the ball. Now to Mighty Williams getting pushed by Devon Flanders. Dane Cole's now going over to the ref saying, that was Cody Taylor. That was Cody Taylor. Oh, right. First penalty, the ball's still in the ruck. They wanted to take it quickly. Oh, Cody Taylor's going to the bin with a yellow card. He looks over straight at Dane Coles, who's going to be smiling ear to ear. Oh, Dane Coles going to him like this. Dane Cole's giving him a bit of stick saying, use your brain, Cody. He'll be back out on the field a little bit later on. I think those two are going to go head to head again. But the crowd are loving it, the battle between those two. Now Dane Cole's still talking. He's saying you got to replace someone because you got your hooker sent off, bro, he said. Right, they're going to bring on Brodie McAllister now. I feel like it's a bad idea giving the referee a microphone when Dane Coles is that close. That man is about as PG as an R18 horror film. And honestly, Coles just looks silly. He's not as good as he used to be, and his behaviour is too much, eh? And Coles, eggplant. Coles having his best moment of the games this fleshing. Coles downside is a temper for a guy that has 101% IQ, says the snooze. Yeah, Leo Willie's been taken off the field, so that'll even out the scrums now in terms of the weight. Won't be that heavy advantage in favour of the Crusaders. Instead, the Hurricanes will have that slight edge. 57 minutes remaining. We are still yet to see any points scored in the second half. Right now, the Hurricanes to put the ball in. It will be Cam Roigard. Very good throughout this season, but this is a chance that the Hurricanes need to try and get back into this contest. They were heavy underdogs just before. Now with the man advantage, that's moved too much. And Coles is an us, says Spider Mech. Now it is going to be another scrum feed. Both up. A lot of cheering going around the ground. I believe the Mexican wave is heading around its Sky Stadium. There's actually a good crowd here, which I'm glad to see. I don't know what the attendance is, but like they've actually done pretty well. The Hurricanes. And Cody will fire up. He's pissed. Says Nate. Well, now he's in the scenario of he can't really cheap shot Coles because he's already got a yellow card. You see, so he's got to play it as Dane Cole said. He's got to do some more thinking about it. I don't even know if they'll bring him back out onto the field with 26 minutes remaining. They might decide to leave him off. Or what the Hurricanes, I think, will do is they'll leave Dane Coles out there until really close to Cody Taylor coming back out, and then they might take him off. Now Brett Cameron goes to Roigard, short ball, and behind to Sinkinson, who was just shut down straight away like a pack of hyenas. The Crusaders in the breakdown, and they get the turnover. It was Dallas McLeod who cleaned it up for them. Now Chapman looking back into the pocket to Richie Moonga, who's under immense pressure, but goes across to Goodhue now. Moving up to 25 out in true subs. Says Blues Name, I'm eating ice cream in the winter, says Ice Cartel. To be fair, not a bad idea. Like, I have been eating a fair share of mango popsicles over the last, couple of weeks, even though it's supposed to be quite cold. Nice run there from Roigard inside ball. Will Jordan says, thank you. That'll be mine, but we'll go back for the initial knock on and another scrum now. Was a knock on from the Crusaders. 7 minutes remaining of the yellow card as well, we should mention. So Dallas McLeod got another knee injury. Now, he didn't look too flash early on in the matchup. He had a bit of a limp going, and now it looks like that limp has gotten slightly worse. Jelly tips his Ice Cartel. Fun fact, I don't think my parents are watching this, so that's all good. But I got some groceries yesterday, and I got some jelly tips so that when they get home from their trip, they can have them. So, the box is still unopened. Dane Cole's going off the field now. Give him a clap. 140 appearances for the Hurricanes. 12 behind the most, which is Julian Savia. Now Canes makes his way off the park. They're just showing Cody Taylor there staring a dagger through him. I wonder if he'll go over and shake Cody Taylor's hand. I don't even know if he's allowed to do that. He probably won't. Owen Frank's now out there on the park for the Hurricanes also. He goes. Just embracing his whole side. Good son, Amish. And now you have to get rid of your mango obsession, says Grant. Yeah, although that's hard to do when there's so many things flavored as a mango nowadays, isn't it? And there goes Coles, our biggest cheer of the night for the Canes. Says Flesh, and they now have the scrum. They've been told to use it. Roigard goes across to Kenny Naholo, who straightens as the big run goes over the top of Richie Moonga again for the second time in this contest. Now Roigard goes across to Campbell. Quick pick up there from Devon Flanders. Tried to get a couple extra meters round the pick and go. Now quick hands to Owen Franks. Taken down by Enor. I'm sure the sugar comes from the cane, says Tioa. Now Burke. In fact, it was Proctor now goes to Morgan, which isn't his name. It's Morby. Just making it up as I go, I think. Brandon Iosi passes off to Barack Obama. Say anything, couldn't I? You can't tell. He could be out there on the field. He's not, but you never know. 140 game for the Dane Coles, says Nate. It's going to be now the line out for the Crusaders. Going for the cross kick there, Brett Cameron. If it went to Sinkinson, it could have been danger, but he just overcooked it a little bit. It was just a tad too far out in front of him because, if it went to him versus Will Jordan would have been a very interesting race towards the line. Brady McAllister now with his first line-out throw. Making his way on the field nicely, taken by Barrett, uncontested by the Canes. Christie goes across to Mighty Williams. Drops the head, but Jacob Devery able to make the tackle there. Now Chapman, a lot of pressure coming in from Savia. Had Barrett almost round his neck. Has to be careful with that height. Now Chapman's going to roll it back for a kick of his own by the looks of it. Does now kick it high. Looking to hook it towards the touchline. Does just that. Gets it down towards 40 meters out. A surprising amount of US presidents actually played rugby, says Grant there. There you go. That is a fact that I did not know. Did any of them, they would have played, oh, maybe not played any cricket, just because now that I think about it, America, I don't think did too much cricket until a little bit later on, did they? Devery, nicely done again. Jacob Devery, big fin there. Offload up to Roygar, close to the touch line. Oh, his jersey is so close. Does it count if your jersey's on the touchline rather than yourself? The referee was looking at that one very closely. Tavita Mafaleo now going back across to Brett Cameron. Gets it off to Barrett. Gets the leg drive going. Tackled by McAllister. Savia with the snipe. Goes off to Roygaard. And he gets himself yet again another try for the Hurricanes. He just doesn't seem to be able to avoid the action. Cam Roygaard. Game of the season, Sarah and Wise, says PSG footballer. Oh, there's been so many good ones. Because there's been good games, game of the season for certain sides, if that makes sense. Like I would say for someone like the Fijian draw, their game up against the Crusaders when they were able to win it would have been game of the season in their regard. But then it's a tough one to pick an overall game of the season. You know, Crusaders Chiefs, one of their two meetings was pretty good. But yeah, some of them are hard to pick which games are actually like the best. One that goes down to the wire is always enjoyable as well. But Roygaard, 9 tries from 9 games here for the youngster. He doesn't have a chance of going into the ABs. You know what? He's right there, possible. And President Trump might have used the cricket bat in his hotels. Good old cricket bat. A little bit different shape from the baseball bat, isn't it? And game of the season for the Highlanders. The Reds agree, says PSG. It was a good game. The Highlanders in that one up against the Reds. That last minute try, I think, helped out in terms of the excitement levels of it. But Roygaard, he tried to go for the kick straight away after scoring it and actually ended up dropping the ball. So lucky he didn't do that before he scored, or else it would have been called no try. By the sounds of it, Sykes Martin now on the field. That is going to be for Tamaiti Williams. In fact, it's Calder, Seb Calder. That's changed because it was supposed to be Sykes Martin. Nicely taken now by the Hurricanes. Hurricanes going to win this, says Aleko. Well, they're certainly back in the contest now with only 40. Sorry, not 40, with 20 minutes remaining. And who will get All Blacks halfback? I think it's going to be the Weber Smith or I believe Roygaard. I would pick Roygaard above Christie. And that's not just because of Christie's hair color. That is because I feel like Roygaard has been the better out of the two in the last little while. And Hurricane's going to win this. And also good humour, mate, says Bush Big. And I just looked. Clinton played the beautiful game, says Fleshin. Now looking for this ball, Chapman. Ooh, that's an ugly breakdown. That ball's just ended up between the cheeks of one of the Crusaders players, but he manages to pull it out like he's given birth. Brett Cameron tackled by Whaina Nuku. Now Roygaard, the ball bounces out the side. He's going to pick the gap again. Roygaard, can he get his double in this game? Kicks it downfield. It's going to be definitely available. Moonga waiting for the bounce. He does well, but he's tackled high. That's a penalty to the Crusaders, or at least it should be. The referee has decided he's going to do his best Dr. Phil impression and let it play out. Now, Chapman's got the ball at the back. Roygaard's been on fire in the last little while, though, hasn't he? Fakatava says PSG. That one's gone into touch. Not a huge amount of distance there. Now they'll be about 15 meters out from the line, the Hurricanes, putting on some real pressure here. Do you live in the bush? Says Ice Cartel to Bush. Yeah, it was a great kick in behind. Was this not a high tackle? That looks high to me, if I'm being honest and unbiased. That was not straight from Devery, or it was close to not straight anyway. I think the ref's just gone, let it play out. See what happens. Pushing it into him is the comment. Roygaard now with the snipe. Tackle well. Ruben O'Neill. And big love, Nate, says Sebastian. Dan sounds nasty, Sebastian. Cheer in there as well. Around the side, Franks has a crack. Now Blackwell goes back across to Billy Proctor. Wrestled down by Tom Christie. You can always expect that man to make a tackle. But it's going to be the question of who will make that next one. Mafaleo, great work. Oh, how long do you have to hold it for? I think he was a little bit unlucky there, Seb Calder, not to get the turnover. But now going back across to the right-hand side here again. Going to be Jacob Devery. Savia wrestling with Barrett. Off to the left. Geordie Barrett, short pop pass up to Caleb Delaney. In fact, it's Proc to get him thrown around like he is a lot lighter than he is. Savia considered going himself. Leaves it though for Roygaard to go across to Franks. Rush defense there from Brody McAllister. I should mention that yellow card has now come to a conclusion. So once there is a stoppage, that's going to be another advantage in favor of the Hurricanes. No wrap. Could have spit some bars there, young Ruben O'Neill. Now off to the right-hand side. James Blackwell, 10 metres out. Savia again, up to Barrett, fend on Moonga, looks for the miracle offload, goes into touch. Game's coming through, Oosh, stares at Blues, no, but that was a very hectic bit of play, about 14 phases in a row for the Canes. Geordie Barrett's got a big smile on his face, he was loving it. And love on yet, not quite. I'm looking around for him though, and I think he's not too far away. Balin Sullivan's there. We hear a big round of applause. That is because Sione Havili Talatui is making his way out onto the field. Is that why they're cheering? Or is it Pori Dakity Stones who they are cheering for? One of the two, anyway. So Balin Sullivan, he's now on the field. Taylor has been replaced by Sione Havili Talatui. So that is why that's why he's on. I don't think Ruben Love has made his way out there yet. Still waiting, and half the state has gone in Canes territory this half. Or have the state has gone in Canes territory this half? Not really. It's weird, isn't it? Because the first half was the complete opposite. We ended up with the Crusaders doing all the attack and the Hurricanes not being able to get out of their half. That's another scrum reset. At 64 minutes, 3 scrum sets. Marginal screwed scrum, penalty, line out, ref, yellow card, scrum, wait for the replacement, bloody hopeless. Is this what people pay to see? Says Michael. We've had quite a few resets, haven't we? And in fact, in World Rugby in general, a lot more scrum resets than we ever used to have. Because they said that they want to speed up the scrums, but they are taking up about 20 minutes of games now. Once again, going to have the scrum. Bind. And set. Roygaard now feeds the ball, and Braden Iosi goes off the back. Looks like he's going to have a bit of a crack himself, but Tom Christie gets him. Now Savia with the pick and go. 5 metres out, driving his legs hard. Sione Havili Talatui tries to hold him up. Not able to. 5 metres separating now the Canes from a possible lead in this match for the first time. Brian Iosin taken down by Tom Christie again. He has made about 20 tackles in this one. What happened with Taylor and Coles? They had a bit of back and forth. Coles said, "You want me to punch you?" Taylor said, "Go on then." And then Taylor got yellow carded for a different incident. And Coles laughed at him and pointed and said, "You got no brain, bruv." That was pretty much the gist of their battle. I'm ready to tuck into bed now, says Bush Big. Well, make sure you go to sleep while you're sleepy, or else then you'll be awake. What a quote that is. You get what I mean, though, you know? Go to sleep while you're sleepy, or else you'll be awake. Put that on a shirt. The clutch says Ice Cartel. Now Roygaard goes across to Braden IOC again. 10 metres out now. Up to 7 phases. Geordie Barrett decides to try and find that offload again, but this time hangs on to it. Now Roygaard looks to the short side. Goes on the inside to Josh Morby. They move within 2, but Enor was on the ball, loses his footing. Now Devon Flanders short side. I don't know if Sione Avili Talatui was onside, and it is going to be now the advantage to the Hurricanes. Short ball from Roygaard to Savia. Moves to 1 metre again. Pori Rakiti Stones looking for it. Leave it, says the referee. Pleading with the Crusaders. Don't touch it. That's going to be now going into touch. Well, it's going to be the penalty. The Hurricanes, sorry, they tried to kick it into touch. Les Crusaders, bienvenue in France, says Thomas. I wish I just finished a live taking my headphones off and going to make you laugh. Well, try anyway, says Tony. I am intrigued, Tony. See what you got. It's almost like a stand-up gig, isn't it? Already had the penalty advantage. This is getting close to a yellow card, though, for the Crusaders if they aren't careful. Now, possession sitting 72% in the second half for the Hurricanes. They've just had all of the ball, but they have only been able to add one try onto their total. They need another one here, and they would take the lead. That will give them a lot of confidence beating the Crusaders side just before the playoff games. They may not meet in any of the matchups. I believe the earliest that they could meet would actually be the semi-finals. But I'm not too sure how it matches up. Now Jacob Devery spins off the back. 10 meters out from the line. Once again, Christie making another tackle. He's up to, like I said, he's got to be up to 20 at this point. Roygaard now back across to the big man, Justin Sangster. He thought about offloading it. They say it's gone backwards. The Owen Franks now takes it to ground. Roygaard to the right. Blackwell. Another big run. Phase after phase here for the Hurricanes. Keeping that possession stat in their favour. The last thing they want here is an interception try for the Crusaders. Balin Sullivan now gets it up to 7 out. Another good run from Flanders. Going to continue attacking here. Pori Rakati Stones tackled by 2 of the Crusaders players. They'll be looking for the advantage if they can get it here as well, the Hurricanes. But now they use their backline. Big run from Jacob Devery. Back, no, they've got it off to Josh Morby. He's over the line. Oh, he took a big shot on the noggin, but he's going to be scoring the try, I believe. What a shark. Is he a Marcos boy? Maybe he just got caught in the moment. I swear he's not Tasman, is he? In the Bunnings EPC. I think he's more up north, but Josh Morby, 5th try of the season. And got a shoot left. Says the snooze, and finally says flesh. And so they now take the lead, ladies and gentlemen. 20 points to 19. Brett Cameron, he just hung on to the ball, found that offload that he needed, and then Josh Morby just backs himself to go through 3 defenders and score the try for the Canes. I'll be more than happy with that. More be happy with, yeah, you get it. It's a pun. Canes firing up, says Baloo's Nate. And well, this is a match, or this is a much better half from the Canes, says April. Yeah, chucked up the fin. Maybe a hint. Is he going to Tasman? Who does he play for, Josh Morby in Bunnings NPC Rugby? Josh, I swear he's a Manawatu boy, is he? Josh Morby? Who did he play for? He played for Hamilton Boys High School. He's a Northland boy. My apologies. Did play for Southland from 2019-2021, but yeah, Northland. And where's all the Canes supporters? Says Nate. And your beauty come on the Canes, says Sam, but that is a good kick. The conversion is successful. And now the Hurricanes, 22 points to 19. The Crusaders have not scored a point since about the 30th minute of this contest. So, yeah, that's not good for the Crusaders. It's good for the Hurricanes. They've now got themselves the lead, 22 points to 19. Now, Roygaard puts the ball up high. Balin Sullivan looking for the touchline. Did that one go out? I think Lester Whaiananuku saying it went out. You got to play to the whistle, though. If you think it's out, that's great. But you still got to make sure that the ref's going to say that it's out, or else that could have been a good move for the Canes. Was it out? Yeah, it was on the line. He was right. But play to the whistle. Now Brody McAllister goes into Sione Avili-Talatui. Does end up knocking it back into the hands of Lester Whaiananuku. I see that Lamb is now out there on the field for Chapman. So that is another change that they did have to make late. Originally, Chapman was going to get the chance off the bench. 2 games for Canterbury. 1 starting, 1 off the bench. And now he's got the opportunity for the Crusaders in a game that they're down by 3. Nicely taken by Che Thiaki now. The big man. Runs up to 45 metres out from the Canes line. Jamie Booth gets in that breakdown, gets the turnover. Now Stangster finds his offload up to Geordie Barrett. Thought about the kick, but he's actually got a little bit of space down the wing now. Inside ball gives it back to Jack Goodchew. Now taken by Lamb. Oh, no, he's just being thrown around by Savia. Now Morby ends up with the ball. He's kicked it behind Richie Mwonga. Just jogging after it. He feels like he's got all the skill and all the time in the world, and he's done just that. Run right round Richie Mwonga up to the 22. Very nicely secured by the Crusaders fly half. Crusaders suck. No one likes them, says Mark. Now pass on the outside. Sione Havili-Talatui. Now goes to Lester Whaiananuku one-on-one with Balin Sullivan, who gets them low. Now Morby. In fact, as Flanders tried to get over the ball, doesn't win it. Now Quinton Strange runs forward. 9 minutes remaining now. Nice to see you again. Great commentary, says Abdul Malik. Welcome in, mate. It's been a little while since we have seen you. Hopefully you are keeping well. Now Lamb goes across to Barrett. Jordan, rough past him. It was behind him. Double knock on. And it's going to now be a scrum feed for the Hurricanes. Regan said Canes for the win. And also Wellington was good with Stu Wilson, Bernie Fraser, to Wiley, Murray Mexted, and Alan Henson. Since then, they're bad. It's quite an old list, isn't it? I mean, I was thinking more like Conrad Smith and whatnot. Andrew Hoare, what a player he was. Have the last name Hoare, and you're a hooker in the positioning department. It was like a match made in heaven, wasn't it? I live in Crusaders territory now. They the greatest, says Tony. A scrum feed for the Hurricanes. 8 minutes remaining. If they score now, even without a conversion, you'd have to say that almost gives them the win. Moonga bleeding out of the nose. Still knows that his side have a chance of winning this game, though, all the way from Sri Lanka, says Abdul Malik there. Let's go, says the ref. He doesn't want the scrums to take too long. I think the Hurricanes won't mind this taking up a little bit more time. Canes getting wood. Getting the win would be a nice victory, says Barry. Definitely building into their game that they do have next week up against the Brumbies. That is who they will be playing in their quarterfinal. They will be going over to Australia to take on the Brumbies as well. Now ball being fed in for the Hurricanes. Braden Iosi breaking off the back. He's got some real good speed and he goes over. Braden Iosi not able to stop him. Jamie Booth needs to be careful. He almost got an elbow in the face from a bit of friendly fire there in the celebration. But Braden Iosi, he's got a weird running style, how he looks like he's jogging, but he's not. He looks like he's just not even trying, and he just goes straight through everyone. 4th try of the season. Savi is fired up for Iosi, and that might just about be enough for the Canes to get themselves the victory. Off the back, goes round Barrett, breaks through the youngster Lamb. Moonga not able to get to him. And my director was enjoying your commentary. Says Abdul Malik, and Wales says April Tui. And Kia ora, Mish, go. My Canes go, says Big Line, and that could be that. And Andrew Hall was a ladies' man. Got a lot of tacos, and I don't mean taco. Yeah, Tony, a massive comeback, says Blues Nate. Yeah, to be down 19 points to 3 to then turn it into, at the moment, 27 points to 19. Come on, the Crusaders. Thanks, bro, for the energy. Guards from Vanuatu, Metu and Joyce. I appreciate you tuning in, mate. We will be back for the Crusaders quarterfinal next week. They are going to be more than likely going head-to-head with the Fijian draw. That game's going to be electric. Earlier on in the season, they did play in Fiji, and it was the Fijian draw who beat the Crusaders. Hurricanes, they will have their game confirmed already up against the Brumbies next week. Going to be a good test for them. That kick from Cameron is not where he would have wanted it to go. Goes away to the right-hand side. So that will make the score now 27 points to 19. And why was this 10, or why wasn't this 10 always kicking? The one who just missed it's mainly because Geordie Barrett has got that little bit of extra distance and need that Fijian energy for the Canes and Wellington in general, says Big Light. Work now, just checking in, Hamish. This is an exciting match. Living up to his reputation, another 8 hours. And what I said, my boy, says Aleko. It's going to be another knock on there. We've got yet again another scrum. Now, this benefits the Hurricanes because the more time that we spend at the scrum, the less time they have to spend trying to stop the Crusaders from scoring. Now, if you're the Crusaders here with 4 minutes remaining, you've got a big decision to make. Do you go for the corner if you end up with a penalty, which at the moment they have not got? But that's the question. Do you go for the 7 or do you go for the 3 in this case? Or in a game like this where it doesn't affect anything on the table, do you just see what happens? Jamie Booth, though, with the scrum feed now for the Hurricanes, who are currently sitting 27 points to 19 up. That will be the penalty now in favour of the Hurricanes for the front row collapsing. That will use up a little bit more time with them putting the ball downfield into touch. Come on, the Crusaders, says Osefa. What's happening to the Hurricanes? Blown away, says Ruth. They've just looked like the far superior side in the second half. 80% possession they have had throughout the second 40. I think the field, someone must have just tipped it so that it's extremely downhill for one side, because the mountain the Crusaders seemingly have had to climb to get out of their own half has been like Everest for them. They just haven't been able to do it. And the same could be said about the Hurricanes in the first half. They just couldn't get up either. So it's weird. It's a weird game. Got to hurry up from Holland, says Sam R. And now Balin Sullivan goes across to Geordie Barrett. Good low tackle made on him by Tom Christie again. That man's got to have 25 now. I'm going to look at his stats straight after the match and give him a round of applause, I think. Now, Jamie Booth, loose ball, Orirakiri Stones. It looks like there's going to be a knock on there against the Hurricanes, but the Crusaders do have the advantage and they do now have possession. Now, Lamb goes across to Barrett and behind Guchu, trying to find a gap, but it just seems to be very tricky. Here comes Moonga, though. What can he do with a quick step in? Taken down by Sullivan on the halfway line. Not every day you see the Crusaders going down this easy, says Barry. Now back across, Will Jordan, trying to create something. Great low tackle made on him, though, by Caleb Delaney. Looking to the ref, couldn't find him. He kind of looked to his teammates and went, why isn't that a penalty? That's a drop ball, though, from the number 19, or number 18, in fact. It's going to be the young, it's going to be Ruben O'Neill. Drops that one. There's the victory. Canes all the way, says Regan. Hamish, what are your thoughts on Moonga this game? He's been quiet. Hasn't really done a huge amount. Like, he's been good in defense. He's really probably stopped 2 tries from being scored, but on attack, we haven't really seen him at his magical best. Speaking of magic, Harry Potter has recently signed for the Western Force, and that's not a joke. He's coming from the Gallagher Premiership. Should be interesting to see what he can do. Bit of wizardry out on the wing for the Force, perhaps. Not playing in the game later on tonight, though. I don't believe. Any chance of the comeback? With 1 minute remaining, I don't believe so, unless they get the scrum penalty right now. But Booth does retain it now for the Hurricanes, going across to Proctor, tackled by Jordan. And surely Love's on now. I'd like to think so. I'm still not really seeing him, though. I'm seeing Proctor. I'm seeing Barrett. Who was the starting 10? Cameron, he's still out there. Maybe Ruben Love wasn't feeling great or something along those lines. Oh, there he is. No, he's out there. He just hasn't touched the ball yet. They gave him the Feta treatment. Yeah? It's been a weird game, says Big Light. I would say the weirdest Super Rugby game we've seen for a little while in terms of, like, the momentum-wise. Like, no side normally has 80% position and a half. Proctor now charging for the Canes have just been good in this half. And Crusaders haven't. Oh, no. Jamie Booth's just passed it to no one. Fine Arnuku. Now he's ended up with this ball and they might get one last crack. It's a superb comeback by the Hurricanes, says Abdul Malik. The penalty goes the way of the Crusaders. The drawer, says Vula there. Still got the shirt on. There you go. Fijian draw. It's always hard to find. There we go. Fijian draw from earlier on. Superb comeback. And, but go, Canes. Let's go. Pick for touch. That's going to be the full-time siren, but there is still another chance here for the Crusaders to get within 7. And Canes are going better when Coles went off. Decent shout. They seem to have more momentum at scrum time anyway when he was off the field, I noticed. Now it's going to be, once again, ball available for the Crusaders to use at line-out time. If this is not straight, that's pretty much the end of the game, but it's gone straight. So now Tom Christie passes across to Richie Moong. And now I have to say, even in defeat, Tom Christie's been superb throughout this contest. If you're looking for a guy who's just going to keep on making tackles, great hands from Lester Fine Arnuku. Yeah, like a tackling machine, Tom Christie. That's another penalty to the Crusaders. I believe they'll kick this one for the corner again. And yes, man, Canes for the win. And going to be great. Semi-finals next week, said Abdul Malik. Yeah, we've got the quarterfinals just around the corner. That will be the Hurricanes taking on the Brumbies. The Crusaders taking on either the Force or the Draw, depending on what happens in that next one. Well, I'm shocked Canes have won, but very happy about it, says April Tui. The goals has become crusty, and after this game, I'll go over to Yanu Band YouTube channel. He's doing my one Waratahs commentary next. There's Nate in there as well. Yeah, I'll be listening to that game more than likely. But yeah, we won't be able to commentate that one. I should be well and truly asleep by the time the Chiefs play. Manaka Hamish draws shit on, says Villa. Yeah, my parents, they recently got back from Fiji. My dad was playing in a golf tournament and yeah, got myself the old Fijian draw polo shirt. It's got a green strip on it. There you go. I was wearing it on the live stream earlier on. They seem to go all right. So I've been told that I have to wear it for their next game. Nice backline here for the Crusaders. Where was this 30 minutes ago? Che Fiaki for the corner, scores the try. And that's a little bit weird because the Satyrs now they're just like, yeah, we could have scored the whole time if we wanted to, but we didn't. We score late. And scores says Christian. Wow, says April Tui. Yeah, it was a good backline movement. Just out the back across nicely. Goes out to Che Fiaki and scores all good damage. Enjoy your night. Out with the boys. Says Nathan Hardlight boys. Says Osefu. Yeah, but yeah, we will have plenty of action next weekend. We're also going to be filming a majority of our trip. We've got pretty much 24 hours worth of time that we're up there. So we've got 24 hours worth of video ideas and just hanging out, seeing what we can do. Right, Richie Mwanga. Line up the kick now with the bleeding nose. Lining up this kick from the touchline. Crazy way to end this game. That's a bonus point, says Big Light. It is. So that will end up with the Crusaders now for their regular season. They will move up to 48 points. The Hurricanes, Richie Moore. Oh, great kick. It's gone straight down the middle at the distance as well. So that will make the score now 26 points to 27 at the end of this contest. The Hurricanes able to get themselves over the line for Dane Cole's final home game, perhaps. Yeah, the Hurricanes will move up to 41 points. So they will play the Brumbies in the next game. The Blues are playing the Waratahs. And then at the end of the Western Force game, we will know who is playing everyone else. Yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this commentary. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Before we go, though, we're looking up Tom Christie's stats because he was busy in this contest. How many tackles did he make? If he made less than 15 in their books, I would be hugely surprised. If he made less than 20, I would even be surprised. But Kitty Naholo, 147 meters carried for that man. 7 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks. Doing very well. Indeed. Then for the Crusaders, Will Jordan tied with the most running meters alongside Faina Nuku, both beating their defenders. He was 8. Says Big Light. I thought he did. I thought he did very well. Well done to the Canes. Really weren't expecting that. Says Wonga there. Right, tackles. Most tackles made for the Hurricanes was Delaney with 13. Blackwell made 12. And then Coles and Savia both made 11. Where's Christie? Goodhue made 12. 27 tackles made. 27 made by Tom Christie. The next highest was 16 made by Barrett, and even that's a good effort. But an extra 11 tackles. He made more tackles than Will Jordan, Dallas McLeod, Braden Enor, Lester Nuku, Richie Mwanga, and John Arfol combined. I guess we'll say. I didn't really do the maths there. I don't know how many tackles that was, but it was probably less than Tom Christie because he made a huge amount. That was very impressive from him. He's my Crusaders man of the match anyway, even though that's not normally what they do because they give it to the winning side. So my man of the match for the Hurricanes. I mean, Roygaard was solid again, as always. As it's all time to catch up, says Ruth. And there to catch up, as in like on the stats, Ruth, or just in general after the game. We probably have a little bit more time for chatter in there as well. I know that Kerr will be happy with this result because he is one who goes for the Hurricanes. Hopefully his daughter's recital is going well. But Kenny Naholo having 7 defenders beaten and 147 meters carried. Pretty good as well. And 1 point difference. Still, for me, felt like a weird game. You know? A weird game in the best way possible. Christie is solid. There's Big Light there. And also, baby, loving the music here. Come on, the Crusaders. Says Roof. As well, but like I've said, the Hurricanes, they may not be back this season. It all depends on how the next few results go when they play the Brumbies, depending on who wins the game between, I want to say that the winner of that Brumbies game goes on to face off the winner of Chiefs versus their opponents. So it's a little bit of a weird one how it all gets muddled up, but when we know, we will be letting you all know, of course. But we have got our lineup videos that will be coming out for next week's quarterfinals. We'll probably chuck in a preview as well of those matches. Know exactly what to look out for in the quarterfinals. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.